So we're now going to look at entering data. So if we click on new RSLM form here, and then it'll open up a little data input screen. So at the top here we've got the contact information in this area. So we've got our listening form ID, which is in the top right of the paper copy. So this is number 4 for the test database. We've then got the date of the listening. So we click on there, a little calendar can come up. So we'll change that to Wednesday like that, and the time of day. So let's say this was in the afternoon. So the name there, so Paul Blogs we'll put in, and contact details, so Twitter, Facebook, email that I'm just putting in now. And then over on this side you've got their address, phone numbers, etc. Now when we put in the postcode, what happens is this little map on the right suddenly springs to life like that, and we can then zoom in and zoom out. So if we zoom out a bit to see the wider area, that's Warminster where Regenerate's office is, and zooming in we can actually go in, and that really helps us to double check firstly that we've put it in the right area, and also that when we are putting in lots of these forms you'll be able to build up a picture, and later on we'll look at the mapping software which actually does that for you and puts together all of this information. So the first question, if you know RSLM, you'll know these questions. What do you love about where you live? And we click on that, and it will open up to firstly give us a free-form text box, and this lets us put in exactly what they said as they said it. So we can put anything we want in there. So for this person, for Paul, he loves his friends and family that are living nearby, and also he likes the fact that it's quiet. That's positive. And then underneath we've got all these categories, and these are what help us to basically put this together, and when we come to the graphing and the data analysis later on, they're really key. So we select the ones that are most relevant. So he said his friends and family nearby, and he said it's quiet and peaceful, and we can look at some of these other ones to work out what it is that he might want. Moving on to concerns. Does he have any concerns? Yes or no? Well, yes, he does. And what are those concerns? Again, we can just type in freeform box. So for Paul here, his concerns around the closing pubs and the local shops. And again, we just need to find the right categories over here. So we've got lack of social spaces, and we've got lack of shops as well. So we'll select those, but there's lots of categories there, and we'll look at later how those feed into the graphing and the data analysis. So the third question is the vision and dream, and this is just a free-form text box because those don't tend to fit into nice easy categories. So again, we can type in just what they said as they say it here. So for Paul, he wants a place where he can meet his friends, and where they can basically have some social time together after now the pubs have closed. That's not an easy thing for him anymore. And does he have any project ideas or actions? So for Paul, yes, he did, and his idea to tackle this was, what about a pop-up restaurant where local people can open their homes maybe for a week or a few days or an evening, and have people in, and maybe start it as a bit of a social enterprise as well. And this is a real project that I was working with a team on the other day. So does he feel that they has to say in the way that areas run? No, not for Paul. No one ever listens, which is something that you might hear quite often now in communities. Does he want to say? Yes, he does, but he doesn't know how to do that. So we then present him with some options for ways in which he can get involved. So he might want to be a customer or client, might want to be for example, for that restaurant project, he wants to meet with others. He clearly knows lots of people and would be happy to meet up with them. A volunteer, absolutely, for that restaurant. So if that got going, he would be one of the people who would be making that happen. Does he know other people who feel passionately as strongly as he does? So yes, he clearly does. And so he's put that loads of his friends and family, he knows them, and he'd be interested in meeting up with them, which is the next question, as long as they can find somewhere to meet, which seems to be the issue for him. Now question 9, we've got this sliding scale that we talked about before. So this lets us choose on that scale, as well as the freeform text box, where we would put them. So for Paul, he's quite interested, so we'll put him up around the sort of 80% mark, but we could put him right down the other end, depending on where he is in terms of his time and passion. Then the final question, just asking for feedback from him in the listening process, and again, nice to be listened to for a change. So we press the button and it saves it. And we can see now at the top there, Paul Bloggs is top of the list. He's been put in a second ago. He's enthusiastic, and so he's low urgency. But just like another, he will increase in his urgency very quickly because of the enthusiasm that we've assigned to him there.